Hey, what's going on? So today I want to show you how I save great articles, videos, or resources that I find. I have a bit of an elaborate system for this, which makes it really easy for me to take notes and find the resources that I've loved in the past. I'll be taking you through the flow of how I save these items and how I kind of process them later. So the first thing you're seeing here is an article that I recently published. The first thing that I do is I just click on the Notion extension here, and this is the extension is set to add the items to my read later page, as you can see right here. And all that really does is it just saves the item and the URL and also the content of the item to my read later page. I'll show you that later. And also, this also works on my phone. You just share the item into the Notion app, so it works the same way. But that's really all you need to do. So when you click Save Page, it saves to your Read Later page, if you have one, just like I have. So let's hop on over to my Read Later page here. As you can see, the page has appeared right here. And when you click on it, you can see it's in the, it's like you can see it right here. It's in the No Type page. That's because we haven't processed it yet. Usually, when I process these, I put it into the right category. So this is an article. I'd move it over to the articles here. Just open it up again. You'll see it's under the type of article here. And there's a few of these fields that have been filled out already. As you can see, the URL, for example, already filled out. But when you open the item here, there's also a rating, notes relation, and a lookup here, roll-up actually, of the notes that I've taken. But it's already saved the whole article, so you don't have to worry about it being deleted or anything like that. So a few things that I wanted to talk about here is the reader watched filter or to-do kind of check mark. This is used to filter the items for later, because otherwise it'll just be really cluttered and we don't really want that. The rating field is used for filtering and sorting actually. So I'll also show you how that works a bit later. The notes field here is a relation to another database that I have. And one of the first things that I do when I process these items is that I copy the title here. And I click on notes and just add the page here. When you just click on create a new page, then it'll create the page in notes. And since we are ready to process this item, we'll just go straight on over there. So here on the notes page, there's a few things that need to be set. The first thing is the area. I have this kind of database of topics that interest me, or at least some of them. And I try to relate the internet resources that I find to these items, so to make sure that I really have them all in one place. Kind of database over books and courses and just internet resources, articles, podcasts and so on. The next thing here, let's just do that real quick. So this is, for example, this one article. That's really under productivity, mostly. And then we have the type here. Also, it's just an article notes, so you just select the type. And then course is not really related right now. That's for when I have the course that I'm taking. I want to take notes on that. And this is also why I don't just relate the type here to the previous database type. So it would just say article. I don't do that because I also take notes of other things. And the next thing here is the newsletter property. And I use that to make sure that I don't send the same resources, at least unintentionally, on my newsletter. And the last thing here is probably the most important field, because that's where I summarize or give some remarks on the article. And that's really for later review, but also to make sure that I really understand what I just read or watched or whatever. But then at this point, you just go ahead and open the article or whatever in another tab, and then you just go through it. It's a very short article. And just go through it, take some notes on it, write some key thoughts or something, and then you distill these notes in this field right here. And when you've done so, you can just go back into the resources right here, and then you just give it a rating, let's say whatever you would feel. And then the notes will actually show up here in the roll-up so that you can easily see them later. And you just check the mark here, check read or watched, And then you go back to the board here, and as you can see, I filtered it if it's read or watched, and that's not true or not checked. And that's because I have this also very important field or view, and that's archived here. And this is so that I can easily go back to pages that or resources that I've loved in the past. So the ratings here, as you can see, they're sorted in a descending way, as you can see right here. And that's because I want to go back to some of the resources. I like to revisit things, learn from them again, or just go back to them in some way. Also check out the notes. They'll also be displayed here. So for example, this YouTube video with Jocko Willink, it's right here. This is the resource. I can go back to my notes easily. You can see I gave it a rating of 5 out of 5 because I really liked the video. So this makes it really easy to just go back and revisit whatever resources you've loved in the past. So I'd really love if you commented, gave some feedback. Would you do this any differently? Do you have any system in place? Because this is something I'm working on actively, trying to develop new ways of making it better. And that's really in general for everything that I have in Notion here. But I really hope that it helped you and you got some ideas for yourself, or you might want to copy the whole thing. That's fine too. But I want to thank you for watching. Make sure that you subscribe. I also encourage you to check out my newsletter, in which I'll actually link to some of these articles. I share the best resources that I find, like really the best ones. Really, thank you for watching. I wish you a great day.